A very good morning to all our Sports Today family members. And yesterday we saw an epic match between Chennai Super Kings and Royal Challengers Bangalore. The Kaveri Derby, the Southern Derby, whatever you may want to call it in your way. It was a epic close encounter. MS Dhoni's Chennai Super Kings winning by 8 runs against the Royal Challengers Bangalore on a pitch and on a boundary dimensions which were absolutely flat and small. The third man and fine leg boundaries were just about 50 meters, and the straight boundaries were 75 plus meters. Given that it was a flat pitch, 226 did not look enough. And at one point in time, the way Glenn Maxwell and Faf du Plessis were batting, it looked as if the game would be finished much quicker. But with 36 runs needed of 20 balls and with Dinesh Karthik going well, when he was dismissed, the game swung decisively in Chennai Super Kings' favor. And the fact that they did it with a remarkably inexperienced bowling lineup speaks volumes of MS Dhoni's captaincy. Sunil Gavaskar had called MS Dhoni the best captain ever for one reason. He said that Chennai Super Kings have gotten out of tough situations because of MS Dhoni's captaincy. And he gave an insight into the captaincy as to how he had to do it in the death overs. Because remember, Tushar Deshpande has not had that much of experience bowling in the death on such a big stage. Then you look at Matisha Patirana playing his first game in IPL 2023. And on top of that, a small outfield combined with a flat pitch. How would you defend? MS Dhoni gave a very, very good indication as to what was the captaincy behind all of this. He said, I like to focus on what I want to do at that particular moment from behind the wicket. I am not aiming for the results. So Tushar Deshpande and Matisha Patirana, he just told them to bowl to their strengths and also ensure that you hit the right lines. Because whenever Patirana bowled on the stumps or when Tushar Deshpande bowled on the stumps, it was difficult for the batters to get away with it. Because even a missed hit could have gone for a six. Patirana's brilliant Yorker at the death, combined with Deshpande also bowling well, ensured that Chennai Super Kings had a significant buffer towards the final overs. Yes, nowadays, whenever Rinku Singh has hit at 31 runs per in the final over, you can think that 29 of 2 overs is very much doable. It is doable. But MS Dhoni stated that had Faf du Plessis and Glenn Maxwell batted on, they would have finished the game in the 18th over itself. That is a very big admission that MS Dhoni made because they had gotten a partnership of 126 in just 57 balls. The way Maxwell and du Plessis were batting, it seemed as if a record chase was going to be on. So kudos to MS Dhoni for ensuring that he got the ball, that he got the right bowlers and he allowed them to bowl the right lines. Because remember, even the catching let Chennai Super Kings down. It was the same catching that let them down even in 2022. Tikshana dropping a catch. Finally, he took one, but the most difficult chances that were taken were by MS Dhoni. The keeping that he did yesterday was simply outstanding. Those two catches that he took, especially towards the end, proved to be the difference maker of 8 runs between Chennai Super Kings and Royal Challengers Bangalore. After the match, you saw that MS Dhoni and Virat Kohli were engaged in a good 32-second conversation with each other. It was jovial, it was a bit serious, but it was all in good vibes. Before that, Virat Kohli was seen discussing with Akash Singh, the left-arm pacer who dismissed him. Remember, Akash Singh hails from Rajasthan. He plays for Nagaland in the domestic competitions, and it was he who managed to dismiss Virat Kohli for 6 runs in that first over. He was saying that yes, you have to play with the mind of the batters. That is the reason why you have to bowl very, very well. It's not about the line, it's not about the length. You have to deceive the batter in the mind as to what lengths you're bowling, what lines are you bowling. Yes, Virat Kohli could be considered unlucky that he dragged the ball back onto his boot and then it rolled back onto the stumps to dislodge a bail. It broke the back of the Royal Challengers Bangalore's chase in a big way. But Faf du Plessis and Glenn Maxwell, kudos to them. 33 sixes were hit at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium yesterday, which is the most ever in the history of an IPL contest. We had expected Bangalore to be high scoring. We had expected Bangalore that sixes will be absolutely flowing through at the M. Chinnaswamy. But is this good T20 cricket? Is this good cricket after all? One of the reasons why Royal Challengers Bangalore have always struggled in the IPL is ironically because of their home venue, the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium. You cannot have small boundary dimensions and you cannot give a flat pitch altogether. If you want to give a flat pitch, make the boundaries larger. If you want to give a difficult pitch, make the boundaries smaller. But RCB do not do that in extremes. Barring one season in which the wicket was slow, all the other times it's been a graveyard for bowlers in the IPL. So that is why RCB, they have never done well in 15 years because they have not given their bowling unit confidence to defend totals or to bowl well. That is the major problem that RCB are facing at this point in time. Give the bowlers confidence, then they can go on and win IPL titles. Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians, if you look at it, even Kolkata Knight Riders, Sunrisers, Hyderabad, they had an equal mix wherein spinners can dominate, pace bowlers can dominate, and also the batters can dominate. You look at the 2016 season, they had the bowlers who could nail the Yorkers. They also had the spinners who could do the job. Same with Kolkata Knight Riders in 2012 and 2014. Their bowlers prospered in patches and the batters were anyway in good form. For RCB, they are very over-reliant on just three people. It is Virat Kohli, it is Maxwell, and it is Faf du Plessis. These three. And that is the prime factor also that RCB have never won the IPL. And now, after 5 matches, they have won only 2 games and they have lost 3. And they are in 7th position at this point in time. Yes, there is still a lot of matches to be played, about 9 matches to go. But it is not looking good for RCB because the likes of Gujarat Titans, the likes of RR, the likes of Chennai Super Kings and all, they are peaking at the right time. So this is the major indication that it is not going to be very easy for Royal Challengers Bangalore to compound their woes. All out of the 3 losses that they have had, 2 have come at home. So it is not going to be very easy for Royal Challengers Bangalore to make a comeback unless the other teams slip up and they have a brilliant second half of the IPL. So MS Dhoni's captaincy was simply spot on. Patirana, Tushar Deshpande ensured that they held their nerve, backed by MS Dhoni, and they managed to ensure Chennai Super Kings won by 8 runs. It was a bounce back from the disappointment that they had against Rajasthan Royals when they lost by 3 runs. Because remember, attacking intent was not shown even in that game also. They took it way too deep, and unfortunately at that time Chennai Super Kings had already lost the game. Here, had Chennai Super Kings lost the game, you could have very well pinned the blame on Ravindra Jadeja, because Jadeja, despite that 1-6, he had scored only 4 runs of 5 balls. And remember, in such a game, these kind of margins can really prove to be the difference maker. And so that is why it is going to be a good game. It's a great win for Chennai Super Kings. The Kaveri battle always has given us classic contests. Here, it once again lived up to the expectations, and that's why 33 sixes. The audience got what it wanted. The batters got what they wanted. Unfortunately, the bowlers, as always, did not get what they wanted. Now, Virat Kohli, it was a bad match for him. He was dismissed for 6. His team lost. And also after the game, he was fined for breaching the code of conduct. What was the particular instance that we don't know, but yes, he has been fined 10% of his match fee for breaching the level 1 code of conduct. The IPL release does not specifically say what was the offense that Virat Kohli fell foul of, but a 10% match fee fine it is for Virat Kohli. 6 runs, it was his first major failure, if you may say, in IPL 2023. He had started off well, 2 and a 4, but unfortunately got dismissed. Very unlucky dismissal for Virat Kohli, and that's why Royal Challengers Bangalore fell short by 8 runs. Now, we shift our attention to the game today, which is Mumbai Indians versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. 2 teams that are on the upsurge because Mumbai Indians won their game against the Kolkata Knight Riders, and Sunrisers Hyderabad have won their games also against the Kolkata Knight Riders. How will both the teams fare up in this contest? It's going to be a very even contest because Mumbai Indians are starting to peak at this point in time, and so have the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Two teams who are really very unpredictable and volatile. It's going to be a close contest today. Mumbai Indians versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. Harry Brooks scored the first century of IPL 2023. Suryakumar Yadav came back in form against Kolkata Knight Riders, and Ishan Kishan also put on a brilliant display. Who is it going to be? Mumbai Indians or Sunrisers Hyderabad? We'll be there at 6:45 to discuss the pros and cons of this match. Which team has the most pros? Which team has the most cons? Join us at 6:45 p.m. for that build-up of Mumbai Indians versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. Now we shift our attention to other sports and we are gearing up for the UEFA Champions League second leg of the quarterfinals that has happened. Remember, Manchester City are in a dominant position against Bayern Munich. Chelsea against Real Madrid, they are not. And on top of that, you look at the likes of Inter or AC Milan, they are in a good position as well. So we are gearing up for the second leg of the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals, which begins tomorrow. You may say 18th is today, but at 12:30 a.m. on the 19th, that action begins. But there is a very interesting development in the world of Indian sports, and that comes from Tejaswin Shankar. Tejaswin Shankar is a high jumper, right? But can you consider Tejaswin Shankar a decathlete? Because now, whatever he's doing recently there was an event in Arizona. Tejaswin Shankar became a decathlon athlete. And because of that now, in order to gain success in the Asian Games, he's going to participate there as a decathlete. Now remember, for decathlon, the cutoff was 7,500 that was specified by the Athletics Federation of India. Tejaswin Shankar has crossed that in Arizona itself. Now it will be interesting to see what the AFI does. Do they want Tejaswin Shankar as a high jumper or do they want him as a decathlon athlete? Remember, you can switch disciplines provided you meet the desired number of criteria, the points, and also what happens in that. So it's a very interesting take that Tejaswin Shankar has betted upon whether he wants to participate in the Asiad as a decathlon athlete or does he want to become a high jumper. But let us not forget that he has been preparing for decathlon ever since he secured the bronze medal in the high jump in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in 2022. So it is going to be very interesting to see what Tejaswin Shankar does because the Asian Games are going to begin in September and October in Guangzhou. That is how it goes. So we are also gearing up for a lot of athletics events that's going to happen. Remember, Neeraj Chopra at the Diamond League event in Doha, that is the first major preparation. I had done a video as to why this year is very important for Neeraj Chopra. 5 Diamond League events, then the Diamond League final in Eugene, then you have the World Athletics Championships in Budapest, and then you have the Asian Games. All these events are gearing up for the Olympics that will happen in 2024. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this edition of the Morning Wrap. Remember, Mumbai Indians versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. That is the single header that we have today. Thursday, there is a double header. It involves Kolkata Knight Riders versus Delhi Capitals, and it also involves the Punjab Kings in the early day game that they will be playing. So thank you so much, and tap that bell icon to know when we go live. We are also there on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.